That was the wrong button. Whoops. What a way to kick off, like, what is this? Like the fifth
That was
reboot
the wrong
of a
button. Whoops.
podcast? Oops.
What a way to.
Like, what is this? Like the fifth reboot of the podcast? It's just been like, I tried to do this like years and years ago because I knew this would be a big deal for me if I could, like, get the podcast off the ground, get people watching me. And it's like, it would have worked, but unfortunately, I was so unbelievably busy, working 18 hours a day. It just wasn't viable. Okay. Like, I remember coming back in like 2020 and like firing up a stream and like going over the news stories for the day and just being like blasted. It was just unbelievable how awful it was. And over the past several years I've been focusing on gameplay streams and I've been focusing on writing the book, and now that, like, the book's getting done, mm, and now, like, I do think, I cut down on my video upload schedule because I'm producing one longer edited video a day, which has actually been working out pretty well for me. My views are up. And so I thought it was like, I was sitting here thinking, what do I need to do next? What's my next move? And, like, yeah, I think the podcast is probably the best thing I could do at this stage. Yeah, rebooting it, probably like an hour a day, talking about things. Because I'm not live streaming right now. I don't really have an interest in it. Like right now, when it comes to video games, I'm still playing quite a lot. Like, I put a couple of hours of Street Fighter 6 in a day, but for me, it's just like, I'm doing other things. I'm focusing on the books. I'm focusing on, like, YouTube analytics. I'm focusing on, like, career stuff because I have made the decision to go full time on YouTube. Something that I really desperately did not want to do, because to me there was something very scary about making the jump to being a full time YouTuber, especially with, like, my reputation, and because, like, how adamant I was I didn't want to do it, and because of just how, like, I only had, like, what was it, like 1,500 subs last year or something. Like, my sub count has doubled. My income's increased. Book sales are up, Patreon's up. Um, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's like I need to take more of an initiative to, like, make this happen and make this work. It just, I don't know. Like, it was just an issue of, like, having to do a million things at once, because I'm not just a YouTuber. I'm not just a gaming commentator. I'm a novelist. Okay. I spend several hours a day editing my books. Like, I spend several hours a day marketing my books. Okay. So it's just been like a nightmare, like, kind of getting to the point where I can kind of, like, actively get, like, all the gear I need and, like, get the skill set and develop it. And a big reason, for that is just how long it's been, of just me just, like, making these videos, of just me just, like, talking about whatever topic, like, came up. And there were, like, endless amounts of topics to discuss at the time, but these days it feels like we're kind of seeing, like, the scope of things narrowing. Like, it's becoming harder and harder, I think, for the masses to downplay Nintendo to the extent that they did. And we're kind of at the point now where people have to, like, try and say the Mario Galaxy movie failed because, like, it only made $1 billion. It's just like, that's kind of insane if you think about it. Is that, like, we saw, like, this huge marketing blitz to downplay the Mario movie, and people didn't go see it. And people think that's like a huge epic L for Nintendo, as if like, what's going to happen over the next several years is that, like, more of these Nintendo movies are going to come out. Gaming, movie critics are going to pull the same tricks, and eventually people are just going to stop listening to them anymore. It's going to be the same thing we saw with the gaming community. Honestly, like, in the 2000s, there was this big push to downplay Super Mario Bros. Right? Everybody hated Mario in the 2000s, and these days it's like a cultural icon and a mainstay and isn't going anywhere. But, like, people really forget how, like, the industry in the 2000s genuinely thought that Super Mario Bros. Was on the way out. You can, like, read articles back in the day about how, like, Ratchet and Clank and, like, Jack and Daxter were way better because they had stories and voice acting. Like, the team behind Crash Bandicoot unironically believed that they were bigger than like Super Mario. So, it's like it's very interesting to kind of see like these kind of issues prop up and then just kind of fall apart over time. I remember in 2024, like there was this big push among like gaming YouTubers to pretend that like Mario and Luigi Brothership failed. And I actually just Googled this today because I remembered that. And it turns out that no, it did very well. Like 2 million units is actually very, very good for a Mario RPG. And considering like, the attempts at gaslighting and sabotaging and coming after brothership for a variety of reasons. Like it's very interesting to kind of see like over time how it's developed like this very very dedicated fan base. Like in a lot of ways it feels like the Princess Peach Showtime backlash stuck. Like I'm still seeing people bitch about that, but like by and large, why is this zoomed in so much? By and large, it feels like the brothership thing is has kind of faded away. And I do feel like brothership is the better game overall, but like it was just kind of frustrating seeing how the community like downplayed Princess Peach Showtime as well. I mean, I suppose this is just the reality of it is that like they downplay everything, they go after everything, and like the most popular things like rise to the top anyway. But then you see like situations like this where you see like games like Princess Peach Showtime or like Emio just get like downright forgotten about. And it's just very very unfortunate. Like it really does feel as if like the industry could have done a lot more to kind of celebrate these games and their accomplishments. Like I was talking about this with Nintendo Land like last night in that video that was supposed to be members only but apparently went public. Like I don't know how this works. Like I hit the schedule button and I thought that like I set it for like way in advance or something, but like I guess it wasn't like it was like private to public or something. But yeah, I went ahead and changed it to members. So, but anyway, yeah, Nintendo Land tried doing this thing where he's like, what was I getting at? Shoot, went off topic. Nintendo Land tried to do this thing where he was like spurging out about stories in games, right? He tried doing this thing where like, yes, Nintendo hates story, Miyamoto hates story, like Nintendo means to put stories in like Mario and Zelda games, and like the immediate response to that is that like, why are you not supporting the more story-driven Nintendo games? Because like over and over again, we've kind of seen this thing where like they spurg out about Mario, Zelda, and to a lesser extent Pokemon all the time, and yet like games like Emio, which are completely story focused, are like ignored. Games like Brothership, which have a really good story, are ignored. It's like you see people spurg out about like mainline Mario games not having story, and it just feels very, very lazy and very, very forced. Like it what the hell is with this? It just feels as if these people like don't know what they're talking about like at all. It really does feel like they're just looking for excuses to bitch because the cope with Emio was that like it was too story focused. We went from like, Mario needs to be deeper, darker, more mature, more for adults with a deeper, darker story, and then you have Emio, which is that but with no Mario, and suddenly like nobody really gives a shit. It's just like it's it's very very interesting to kind of see like the weird double standard. Like, I guarantee you that if Nintendo did make a more story-driven game, like these guys just wouldn't respect it at all. Actually, no, like they do make more story-driven games. Like they do, and yet like the masses just kind of like downplay and ignore them every single time. Like just look at how people like disrespected something like Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's just like, it's interesting to kind of see like, oh yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That's another game I've seen more people like come out in defense of. Cause initially the cope was that like it was a huge step down from 2. But like, now that I finished it, like I can safely tell you it's way better than 2. And like it's actually my favorite Xenoblade now by far. And I feel like more people are coming along to think that too. So like I do find it interesting how like the masses are doing this thing where they're just trying to complain about um to complain about like Nintendo stories and games, and like it just all just feels like a giant cope. When you look at like the Star Fox thing, like, what is the big weird cope from these people is that like they don't want to see Star Fox be a rehash of 64. And specifically what they mean by that is that they don't want it to be the same story. Like they don't want it in the Lilat system, and they don't want it being about having Andros as an antagonist. Like it's like it's such a weird thing to get hung up over. Like, because you see this all the time when it comes to like Star Fox content on YouTube, is that they always preface their videos like, yes, I don't want Star Fox to be like the most popular and beloved Star Fox game ever made. Like, what I want is for it to be open world and more like Assault. And I'm just like, Assault wasn't very popular. Like again, I don't understand how we got to this weird revisionist history where um people genuinely seem to think that Assault was like this standout Star Fox game, when honestly, like I do think I look back on Command more fondly. I do look back on Adventures more fondly. Like, I played a lot of Command growing up, and I did get every single ending. Like the simple fact that like Command has different endings makes it better than Assault. Like Assault is like 10 levels long. Like I don't understand. Like every time I would play Star Fox Assault, I would get to like the fourth stage and then stop. Okay. It's like, it is shocking to me how many people push this idea that like Assault was somehow this huge cutting edge idea, when all it really is at its core is a generic TPS, and not even a particularly good one. Like the animations are stiff, the mechanics are weird, like the vehicles aren't interesting. Like it just feels really baffling how the community has like glazed Star Fox Assault over the years. And like I do think at its core, it's just a symptom of Star Fox just being this like IP that people pretend to be fans of. At its core, like it feels as if like I think I need some more water. It feels like people are just pretending to be Star Fox fans. It's like they don't really have any understanding or respect for the brand at all. Because, and this keeps coming up, every single time, is that like they keep spurging out about Miyamoto. Like they have this idea that Miyamoto is somehow holding the brand back, or it's like it's being like neglected by him. And it's just like Star Fox was just in the Mario Galaxy movie. The character's in vogue now. People are playing like Star Fox 64 for the first time because of that movie. Like, Star Fox is going to make a glorious comeback, and it's going to be great. And, people are like, turning around on Zero. People are becoming fans of that game, the best Star Fox game ever made. Like, it really feels like all the weird contempt and rage towards Star Fox is just, it's not going to survive like the next Star Fox release. Like it's going to be very interesting, because either we're going to see Zero get the praise it deserves, or we're going to see the series make a glorious comeback and like be successful. There's really no like winning for like the Pretendos and like the Grifters and all that, because like these guys aren't fans of the brand, and they will never like support the brand, and they will never play a Star Fox game, and as a result of that, they are not Star Fox fans. It's interesting, like, because I do feel like Star Fox, weirdly enough, has become one of the most toxic Nintendo fan communities out there. Because I don't know any other like Nintendo brand that's like as like associated with just like weird degenerate like mindsets. Like, Smash Bros has calmed down over the past several years, probably because there's no upcoming Smash release, but Smash Bros, Paper Mario, Metroid, like they're nowhere near as bad as they used to be. And I think with Metroid in particular, after Prime 4, it's become very, very apparent that the people who bitch about Metroid all the time aren't actually fans. But like with Star Fox, I'm very interested in seeing like at what point we're gonna get to that stage where people are gonna be like more actively like invested in the community and start actively speaking out against this nonsense. Um, because the past like several weeks has been insane. Because Nate the Hate came out with his statement saying that a new Star Fox announcement would be coming in April. Like again, and we were told by everyone, we were told by Nintendo Land, we were told by like RGT85, we were told by like Arlo that like all of the this guy was a completely 100% reliable leaker, and that you have to like believe everything he says. And because of that, we have to make videos about it and comment on it and like talk about this Star Fox game that simply does not exist. Okay. Like again, people made content about this. People got excited about this. People ignored actual upcoming Nintendo titles for this game. Like we saw this happen. We saw this play out. We saw people desperately, 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 desperately do this thing where they just bent over backwards to defend Nate the Hate's honor. And now we're kind of at the point where the rumor became so popular and it became so well known and it became such a reported on story that we're seeing more people actively speaking out against the fact that this wasn't true. More and more people are like clowning on Nate the Hate than I think ever before, and he really can't handle it because so much of his grift relies on like selling the idea to people who will just blindly report on it without fact checking, without consideration, without like respect for the audience. Like, Nate the Hate usually just leaks something and then everybody just reports it as a story from a reliable leaker. And then when we get the actual announcements, like it gets brushed under the rug. Like, oh, it'll get announced later, and then it never does. Like, that's what's happening with Star Fox right now. But the difference is that enough people are invested and we're following along with it, and we're like putting their trust in Nate the Hate, that like when it didn't come true, people are now like exposing him as like a fake leaker as opposed to a trusted, verified, like 100% Nintendo insider, right? Like again, this is the end of the Nate the Hate grift. This is the end of the Nate the Hate leaks, and the community just um is split because you have people like me who are upset at Nate the Hate. They're upset at people who like reported on his stories. Like, we're upset that like anybody took this seriously to begin with. And then you have the other guys. Like, you have the guys who are bending over backwards to defend Nate the Hate, defend the leaks, like try and argue that like it was secretly some like Nintendo psyop, that they released some fake story to get Nate the Hate to report on it, to like expose the leakers. And it's just a gigantic cope. Like, it really is truly just a gigantic cope. It's like it is like textbook example, like what we saw back in like the Pokemon Stars days, or like the Star Fox Grand Prix days, or like the early Wii U days. Like, oh man, these major announcements are coming, guys. Just hang in there, and like they never come. Like it's just attention seeking behavior from these individuals. It's downright disgusting, and it's something that we do need to like be straight up speak out against. Like again, I don't want to hear Nate the Hate. Like, I don't want to hear his name again. Okay, like I probably will block people on Twitter who bring him up as a reliable source. I don't want to hear his name again. I don't want to hear him brought up again. I don't want to hear him addressed again. Like, this should be like the only thing that people talk about when it comes to Nate the Hate going forward, is just how he was completely abjectly wrong about this. And no amount of coping is going to like change that fact. Is just this is the end result of the Nate the Hate grift. So I am just very very upset at the sheer amount of people who tried to say this was somehow like some big major news story. Oh yes, that's right. I was trying to think of like what else we had to talk about. Okay, so what's the other side of the coin? Okay, what are people doing now that the Star Fox leaks have been proven to be fake? Are they denouncing everything else Nate the Hate has done? Are they denouncing Nate the Hate as a personality? Are they disassociating themselves from other products that he talked about in that leak? No, of course not. Like these guys are still trying to tell you that Nate the Hate is completely reliable and everything else he did was completely 100% for that factual. Like they'll try and tell you he leaked Splatoon Raiders, he did not. They'll try to tell you he Ocarina of Time 3D Ocarina of Time remake is a thing. It probably isn't. Like, and they're going to try and tell you that like the Star Fox announcement was simply delayed, that it was initially planned for April, but they moved it back to like better coincide with like a general Nintendo Direct. Like that's what we've been told for a while. And it's something that like I do think we do need to speak out against. Like it's something that I really don't want to see again. It's not something I want to hear about. It's not something that like it's not even really something we should entertain because all they're doing is just making excuses as to why they rallied behind this weirdo to begin with. All they're doing is making excuses as to why the prophecy did not come true and the leaks weren't real. Like it was, it was Nintendo. They leaked incorrect information. They changed their plans. Like Nate the Hate wasn't wrong. It just Nintendo wasn't right for announcing the things that Nate the Hate revealed. It's like that's the kind of level of coping we're dealing with here. That's the mindset of the Nate the Hate Defense Force is that they'll do anything to protect their fake leakers. And the reason for that is, and I think you see this a lot when it comes to these like YouTube channels, is that like a lot of them get a ton of engagement by reporting on these stories, by hyping up like the possibility of a new Star Fox, by hyping up these leaks, by hyping up this inside information because it gets them clicks and it gets them views. And they're able to just kind of disassociate themselves like, oh, it wasn't me who came up with this. It was some other guy. Like, well, then why are you reporting on it then? Like again, like that's kind of my point is that I don't want to see YouTubers reporting on these kind of stories ever. Like again, if it's not real, I don't want to hear it. And it's unfortunate that like so many people don't have this mentality, that so many people are just willing to go along with the bit, that so many people are just like desperately trying to keep up the farce, but it's just kind of embarrassing. All right, let's see here. Do we have any videos to react to? Let's see, Nintendo. Huge new Nintendo Switch 2 game rumors just appeared. Everyone is buying a Nintendo Switch 2. Oh yeah, yeah, sales are up. Yeah. Kitten Krista, 97 views. Jeez. Nintendo Prime, this asshole. Okay. Okay. Okay.
There are some new and
So I don't know how many of you remember last year there was a period of time where Amazon was not selling Nintendo products, right? And nobody really knew what was going on.
What?
But now we do. So Reggie Fils-Aimé, who is the former CEO of
No. Like, we knew what was going on. Like, Amazon was pulling some pricing bullshit, and Nintendo didn't let them do it.
Nintendo and the GOAT in my book said that they were asked to break the law by Amazon and they refused, and that's why they didn't carry their products. So let's look into this, because this is kind of a role reversal, right? Lately, we've been talking a lot about Nintendo and some of their questionable, scummy business practices, right? But yeah, in this case, they made the
Yeah, this is exactly why I can't take Clownfish seriously. Is he seriously gonna imply that Nintendo is more scummy than fucking Amazon? Like, that's just straight up, like, ignorant and delusional. Like, do you not know how they run their business? Do you not know how they treat their, like, employees? Do you not know, like, like, how shit they are?
right choice. So I will give them props for that. And man, I miss Reggie. Like, the current year Nintendo sucks. I miss Reggie so much.
Why?
The Bowser era is kind of like the Bob Iger era of Disney.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, the company's grown, but they kind of lost.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? First of all, Bowser left the company. And second of all, he was the president since like 2020. You know, like, they had a ton of successes, like, during his 5-year tenure. What are you talking about? And besides, you're talking about NOA, you retard. Like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Like, nobody can, like, NOA doesn't make the games. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Their soul, I think, in the process. So we will talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and
like, the whole Bowser hate thing, like, it really is not gonna age well at all. Like, it's like one of the most ridiculous, like, copes I think I've ever seen from, like, these people, because they're clearly not fans, and they clearly don't, like, follow along with this stuff, and they clearly don't, like, they're very obviously just kind of pushing, like, this cope because, like, you know, it's just something they can grift off of. It's disgusting.
and rants, guys. This is Neon. This is Clownfish TV. And this is a good way to support us for less than the cost of one super chat. You can go out to more.clownfishtv.com and join the reef. You get paywalled content that is not available on YouTube, and you can join our community. And thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it, guys. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is coming from Kotaku. Reggie Fils-Aimé says Nintendo stopped selling to Amazon after being asked to break the law. A recent lecture at NYU suggests the unstable relationship between the gaming and e-commerce giants dates all the way back to the Nintendo DS. Fils-Aimé says the e-commerce giant attempted to pressure Nintendo to not just burn relationships with other retailers, but outright break the law. Amazon was looking to get bigger into the video game space. He said Amazon's mentality back then is they wanted to have the lowest price out in the marketplace, even lower than Walmart. Essentially, what Amazon wanted was an obscene amount of support, financial support, so they could have the lowest price and beat Walmart. I literally said to the executive, you know that's illegal, right? I can't do that. Nintendo and Amazon have never been on friendly terms. Last year, just as Nintendo was launching their new Switch 2, the anticipated home console was nowhere to be seen on the platform as pre-orders cropped up on competing retailers. This comes after a history of first-party games being unavailable on Amazon or pre-orders being unceremoniously canceled. Some speculated the turmoil revolved around third-party sellers and Nintendo themselves being undercut. Seems the bad blood goes back even further. This fallout dates all the way back to the DS. At the time, the Wii and DS were Nintendo's best-selling hardware in history. Amazon originally sold books, but in the 2000s, rapidly expanded with cheaper discounts to become a one-stop shop for almost everything. Yeah, I remember the early Amazon commercials. So I worked at a radio station when Amazon first came out, and we used to run the commercials, and it was called Amazon because it was like a forest full of books. And you buy books, and that's mostly what you buy on Amazon was books. And then eventually they just turned into this monstrous online retailer. Everything except Nintendo. Beyond selling games, Amazon's relationship to the industry is clumsy. Their forays into development have been unable to transform vast resources into an online game, laying off thousands of people in the process. Leadership for their gaming wing departed at the start of the year, and their cloud gaming service, Luna, sundown just last month with no refunds. It's almost like they were trying to make their own system, their own console, to try to compete with Nintendo. Just let that sink in. We, Amazon, are trying to make our own console to compete with Nintendo. They can buy the great value version of a gaming console, I guess. Literally, we stopped selling to Amazon, he continued, and it's because I wasn't going to do something illegal. I wasn't going to do something that would put at risk the relationship we have with other retailers, but also set the stage to say, look, you're not going to push me around. This is the way we do business. And so that is how over time you build respect. This is going to be great for the price fixing suit against Amazon right now, says Shabab Kamal in the comments. Go Reggie. Yeah, Reggie was great. He was fantastic. He was supposed to be, I think I made him like the CEO of GameStop or something. I don't know. He'd probably do better than what we have now. But no, I think that is a good move. And Nintendo, like, look, I know they tend to bully people. I know they, really crack down on people with their lawyers. And sometimes I think it's ridiculous. We did a video the other day talking about the Poca National Geographic channel, which I don't know if that should have been taken down. I would have said, take down your Patreon. I guess that was the issue that they had with this guy, was he was monetizing it through Patreon. I'm like, well, take the Patreon down and let the guy put the videos up. Or better yet, if you're going to take his channel down, hire the guy to do some really cool content for the official Pokemon and Nintendo channels, because he's obviously popular. He had like 100,000 subscribers, but whatever. Yeah. So this last summer, they were like, yeah, there was no Switch 2. They said, what's going on here? They said the weekend is spotted by IGN and others. A handful of first-party Nintendo games popped up on Amazon.
Yeah, you can't. Okay, so you can't hire fans to like do projects like that. It's not a good idea. But yeah, people like Neon don't understand that.
And are being officially shipped and sold by the retail giant. But yeah, they stopped selling new games and consoles on Amazon. There's never been a confirmation from either company. Now we know. Some fans speculate that Amazon was shipping games ahead of their release and that this led to leaks, but it has yet to be confirmed. No, I guess apparently it's a feud that goes back like 20 years, which is kind of crazy. But here's a link out on X. Let's see what people are saying here. Stubborn Hammer says, if you thought this was a free country, just remember it's illegal to have low prices. Michael Pratt says, you mean you questioned why Amazon had your products cheaper than retail with their deals, and the response was to beat their competitors? Sorry, Reg. We knew why Nintendo for a while was not dealing with Amazon. The same way with Disney. This was back when Amazon was great. Deals were deals, and they actually dropped the price on stocks that didn't sell or went cheaper on deals than others. Yeah, it's so weird. Like Amazon now, I kind of feel the same way about Amazon that I feel about Aldi. Like, I love Aldi. I do. But their prices are almost as bad as a regular grocery store. It used to be that they were cheaper and their food was really good and you could get really good food at a decent price. And now they cost like almost as much as like going to like a Kroger's or something. It's crazy. Ash Chapel says, I believe it's because Amazon is evil as fuck. And Reggie built a lot of goodwill that Nintendo is pissing away right now. So I can't imagine him lying. I agree with this 100%. Nintendo has turned into the villain. This is their villain arc. And yeah. I blame Doug Bowser.
Yeah, look at how many of these tweets are like automatically going after Nintendo. Like Neon's not going to address this because like, he's a fucking shill, but like the obsession that some people have when it comes to like making Nintendo the bad guy in any given situation is like, it's bizarre. Like, you'll see this a lot in like the community and all that. But the fact that it like people will gladly, side with Amazon over Nintendo, I think really says a lot. I think that really says a lot.
Oh, it's imagine hiring a guy named Bowser to just destroy the reputation of the company. CMGC says, my name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass.
What did Bowser do? Like, I don't like, again, like he destroyed the reputation of Nintendo. Like, is that why they had like their biggest period ever in the past 5 years? Is that why the Switch 2 launched successfully? Like, what are you talking about? Like, how did he destroy the company?
I'm about taking names and we're about making games. There you go. Interesting. I remember that time they stopped selling stuff on Amazon. It's happened a few times throughout the years. Yeah, apparently it's been going on a long time.
Yeah, I have noticed that, yeah.
I miss Reggie so much. Nintendo of America felt so much more alive when he...
It's actually a major reason why I switched to like all digital, because I was ordering everything on Amazon for a long time, but then they started like, not having things on there. So it's just like, oh, I'll just buy everything digitally. It's not a big deal.
was with him. Yeah, he actually liked games. You could tell he liked games, and he liked gamers, and he liked talking games with gamers. What? And I don't know, that the current regime at Nintendo feels very corporate.
What are you talking about? So what are you talking about? Furukawa loves games. What are you talking about? Like the new head away, the new head of NOA. Like she was there for 20 years. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
So Numeric says, so that explains the Amazon not selling Nintendo games and systems, period. Wow. Don't F with the Regenerator. Happy they stood their ground. I wish to God they'd bring him back. Can someone explain what's illegal about this? I don't understand. Let's see. Essentially, Amazon was asking Nintendo to collude with them to undercut Amazon's competitors. And this is the law. So it primarily violates the Robinson-Patman Act, the U.S. antitrust law from 1936 that amends the Clayton Act, which bans certain forms of price.
Yeah, I think to be pretty critical of Reggie because of him obviously being behind us not getting certain JRPGs. And like, I would say, like, you know, the marketing in the Wii U era was kind of his fault. And I don't know. Yeah, there are things to complain about when it comes to Reggie, but like, yeah, I think this is like based.
Price discrimination. Amazon wanted Nintendo to provide an unusually large amount of extra financial support, rebates, discounts, etc., that would let Amazon sell Nintendo DS consoles and Wii products at a lower price than Walmart and other major retailers. This wasn't a standard volume discount or meeting competition offer. It was framed as obscene support specifically to beat Walmart on price, which would give Amazon an artificial edge not available to competing retailers buying the same products. Well, to be fair, Walmart plays dirty. So it's like you can't compete with Walmart, right? But they're going to try. So yeah, there we go, guys. There's the official explanation. It only took, how many?
Okay.
Well, folks,
all right, let's switch to a reaction stream. Okay, so yeah, take a look at this. Huge new Nintendo Switch 2 game rumors just appeared. This is a brand new fucking video from Sunbro Nation. Okay, like a Dark Souls fan talking about Nintendo. I'm sure this isn't going to be like retarded at all. Hang on. Is the microphone all right? Yeah, it's fine. Okay.
New and very exciting game rumors that just hit the internet recently in regards to some unannounced Switch 2 projects that, let's face it, until we get the next official mainline Nintendo Direct presentation, leaks and rumors are at an all-time high right now because Nintendo is definitely not directly...
Okay. This is nowhere near as bad as it was like in 2015. Okay. If you think this is an all-time high, you were not there during the NX era. Like, that shit was like unbelievable. But anyway,
communicating their own long-term games roadmap. I mean, we pretty much get through the summertime at this point, with July being Splatoon Raiders, and we're really in the dark past that. Now, the source in question I am referring to as just a rumor, to be clear here, but I do have quite a bit of trust in this individual, at least with what they've put out there so far. We are talking about Reese Kiwi Talks Riley, who actually has a body of work that you can go look at here on YouTube, which is them interviewing developers from all corners of...
Isn't this guy a fraud? Isn't this guy like a known fraud? I do not have like QB Talks on my blacklist yet. I have heard the name though. I haven't been paying attention to the leak community. Like, there's no real reason to, because I think until Nate the Hate, a lot of these people just were not like relevant at all. So like, I guess the industry is trying to push like new personalities forward to try and push new like reliable leakers, but
the gaming industry, and naturally you would expect them to be pretty well connected behind the scenes with things and maybe hear about some unannounced projects from time to time. And the big deal about this rumor is it has to deal with 3 different franchises, and it's Zelda, Metroid, and Smash Bros. And no, the Zelda game in question doesn't sound like it's the Ocarina of Time remake. It sounds like it's one slated for 2027. The Metroid
yeah, the Ocarina of Time remake. So like, yeah, these guys are still like going forward with the idea that the Ocarina of Time remake is 100% real. And it's just, Come on. Come on.
Doesn't sound like it's the Ocarina of Time remake. It sounds like it's one slated for 2027. The Metroid rumor probably is coinciding with some other information we've heard that suggests there may be a Super Metroid remake.
By the way, like Ocarina of Time has already been remade, honestly. Like all they would have to do is just port the 3DS version to Switch. Like that's it. Like it wouldn't be a remake, it would be a port. Like people make it sound like it's going to be a complete Final Fantasy VII like style overhaul, but realistically it would just be a port like of a game that already exists.
And what in the world might be going on with Smash Bros in the next year or two? Well, that is what we are going to try to unpack in great detail today. But before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And I want to first kick this off by hopping over to X and looking at the direct post in question, which comes to us from Reese Kiwi Talks Riley. As you can see, he says, "These are my 4 favorite game franchises of all time, and it's great that I know all 4 IPs have stuff coming either soon or in a year or two. GTA 6 in November, another Metroid game on the near horizon, Smash Bros in the next year or two, and another Zelda game and the movie in 2027. So let's really unpack and break down what Reese Kiwi Talks Riley might be insinuating he knows.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Nintendo might put out a new Zelda game next year. Wow. What a crazy revelation. What a crazy leak. Like, oh man, a new Smash Bros game might come out. Oh, like what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Sakurai just finished Kirby Air Riders. Like, we're not going to get Smash, I think, for another 6 years. In, like, you know, my honest opinion, and I think Sakurai might not headline it. I think it might be passed off to another developer. I think, like, Smash is nowhere near ready to come out. Like, because, like, you know, Smash Ultimate is still so relevant. Like it's gonna be the same situation that like Mario Kart 8 was in, where like it's still selling, and until they come up with a cool new idea for Smash 6, there's no reason to rush it. Honestly, like again, Smash should be something that we get like once a decade or something that kind of like reflects the current era at Nintendo. Like the Smash Ultimate phase, like of just us getting constant content for like 7 years. Like the downside for that is that it's going to take like forever to produce a new one from scratch. I think like Ultimate reused a ton of assets from 4. It used the entire cast from 4. It used like older characters, and like the new cast members weren't even like a lot of that was DLC. So I think Ultimate is going to be the last Smash Bros we get for a very, very long time. And of course, Grand Theft Auto 6 is slop.
And I want to first kick it off with Metroid, because you're probably well aware that we recently had the big launch for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Years and years of waiting. That's, of course, Metroid's 3D installments. But one thing it has been a while for is a fresh 2D Metroid game, which are absolutely still a moneymaker.
Dread came out 5 years ago. What are you talking about? Okay. I mean, I agree that we could get a new Metroid game like very soon, but like, I don't know. The idea that it's like guaranteed to come, like again, like these games don't come out on a set schedule. You know what I mean? Like I just don't really, in a lot of ways, I still don't feel like I've really like done everything in Dread. Like I don't feel like I've played the game to death. I haven't beaten the game on the highest difficulty. I don't have the map memorized. Like in a lot of ways, like I still don't feel like I've played Dread enough. And I love the game. So like honestly, like to a certain extent, like I don't even think I really want a new Metroid game right now. Like just because I'm still playing Dread, and like,
viable option for the future of Metroid games, as Dread actually holds the record for the most successful Metroid game ever, crossing over 3 million total sales. And you would presume that with a 2D Metroid game and the scope that it takes to develop that, it's quite a bit of a lower budget than something like a Prime 4 release, and doesn't take nearly as many years to develop. So since it's been since 2021 that we've seen Mercury Steam release Metroid Dread, I do believe that logically, really at any time, Nintendo could reveal the next 2D.
Yeah, I hope Mercury Steam is brought back for Metroid 6. Like, I would love it if they made like a completely original game, but we'll have to see. I think they earned it after Samus Returns in this.
Metroid, in fact, I think it's a strong candidate to show up at something like a summertime direct from them, maybe a September direct if not. But you may or may not remember a story we talked about briefly Following the Nate the Hate podcast, where he put out a bunch of information that, to be fair, we're still waiting for some of it to come to fruition, like the Star Fox information.
What?
That said,
fruition? The statement was wrong. It said we would be getting an announcement on Nintendo Today in April, and that didn't happen. Like, Nate the Hate was full of shit.
He revealed to us things like Splatoon Raiders was going to be a summer title. We now have that.
Splatoon Raiders, yeah, that was confirmed last year. We already knew that. That was not a revelation.
Slotted in as a July title, just like he suggested. Rhythm Heaven Groove, same thing. We recently saw Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave rated by the PEGI ratings board, and that's also claimed to be a summer title, so we should be learning about that probably as Nintendo's August game if I were to bet. But before that podcast went live, there was actually an interesting comment that went up on a YouTube video that actually suggested pretty much all the info that Nate put out there himself in that podcast, with Mario 3D being a 2027 game, not coming this year, the Ocarina of Time remake, a Star Fox game was in that claim. But interestingly, they also put out there that a Super Metroid remake, pixel art style.
No, not happening. Like, Sakurai already said it's never going to happen. Sakamoto already said it was never going to happen. Shut up.
Indeed on the way to Nintendo Switch 2, and that is obviously a massive claim that we really don't have a whole lot of other sourcing around other than Nash Weedle has put out information, and love them or hate them, they're hit and miss. I will say that they have gotten enough things right that I still tend to kind of look at them, but I will also say that whenever it comes to direct timing and specific dates and stuff like that, they seem to be very off on that as of recent. So
yeah, so like, this has no source. There's no evidence for this. He's straight up saying that he doesn't rely on these sources. So, like, why even make a video? Like, that's just dumb. That's just dumb. Okay. All right. Nintendo Avengers. What the hell is it? New Dog City. Yeah, it's not even bothered. It looks dumb.
The start of a new month, and that's very exciting because there's some new games coming to Switch and Switch 2 that we are going to be talking about.
I hate these
and
people.
At the end, we will share which games we will be actually picking up and playing.
Yes, it's a fresh start with a new month, and I don't know about you, at the start of a month, I always like to look and see what games are coming out. And
plan your month.
As I was going through...
They're so fake. I don't... Like, I hate them so much. like, I hate them so much. Okay, new updates on Ocarina of Time. Okay, shit. Okay.
We have some new developments happening in the realm of the Zelda rumor sphere, especially when it comes to Ocarina of Time remake and some other potential remakes coming for the Zelda 40th anniversary that should be celebrated later this year, at least based on Nintendo's history. They tend to always start the celebration in the summer months.
Yeah, what did they do for Mario's 40th anniversary? Like, because I remember people spurging out about how we didn't get shit. Like, 40th anniversary, like, it's a nothing burger. Okay, let's be real. Like, there are major, like, I think major anniversary years should be the 25th, the 50th, the 75th, and the 100th. Okay, like I don't think celebrating anniversaries like every decade is like reasonable, because you get weird situations like Luigi, the year of Luigi, it was like, what, like 20 years since he was first introduced into like, 30 years since he was first introduced in like Mario Bros. It's like, okay, it's an interesting idea. We got a lot of Luigi themed products that year, great year for Luigi fans, but it's like, that was actually the only year ever Nintendo's lost money is the year of Luigi. So it's like, what why celebrate Luigi being in Mario Bros? It doesn't make any sense. It was just some overly specific thing that like no one like what really gave a shit about, honestly. And obviously Luigi's a popular character, obviously, but it's like, just tie it in with general Mario anniversary celebrations. Cause like, we had like, the 25th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. And that felt like a milestone event where they re-released like Super Mario All-Stars and all that, like big deal at the time. For me, I feel as if this endless like anniversary talk, it's just ridiculous. Like, I remember when like Metroid hit its 25th, and people were like spurging out about it. Like, well, we got no Metro. Nintendo's just ignoring Metroid. Like, they're ignoring Metroid. Like, yeah, it's their most niche franchise. Like, again, if they have nothing to show, they have nothing to show. Like, their development time can't be focused on anniversaries. Like, honestly, like, and again, if you're going to talk about anniversaries, like, if you're going to do a remake of Ocarina of Time, wouldn't it make sense to do a remake on the 30th anniversary of that game, which, by the way, is coming up in 2028? So it's like, that makes way more sense than like what they're doing now, where they're like, yes, it's the 40th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, so Ocarina of Time has to come out this year. Like, no, bitch. Like, it's like, what are you talking about?
Rather than in February when the actual anniversary happens.
Look at that. My Pikachu is at a way healthier weight than his. Like, look at his. It's like some chubby, like, obese thing that just kind of sits there. Like what's he feeding that fucking thing? Like, what's he doing?
I think the large reason for this has to do with them always celebrating the Mario movie anniversary still, and Pokemon always celebrates its anniversary in February as well. So they just space out the Zelda stuff to the summer or beyond, just to, again, better for timing purposes, for marketing and all of that. That being said, that's just my opinion, of course. What you guys want to hear about
I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that Zelda just isn't as big of an IP as Mario. Like, I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. Like, again, they're going to do Zelda anniversary stuff eventually. Like, what? Like, what? Like, again, what the fuck did they do on the 25th anniversary of Zelda? Like, they released Skyward Sword, and they had some, like, cute references to it in-game. And like, they had that soundtrack, but like, other than that, like, what the fuck did they do? Like, they didn't do anything. Like, it's just
the new rumors and all of that in regards to Ocarina of Time remake, and obviously any other Zelda stuff here. And we're gonna dive in by first having a conversation about Nate the Hate. Nate the Hate is obviously receiving a lot of heat recently because we are in the month of May. It is now May 3rd, and guess what? We still don't have a Star Fox reveal that was supposedly going to be revealed last month to release in June. Is it still even going to release in June? Is the project even real? Or was Nate the Hate's rumors, and all of them, some of them, part of a recent attempt by Nintendo that I've talked about? Where
Okay. So for those of you who, I'm sure there were people like this who assumed I was making this up. No, it's real. Like, this is legit how they're trying to justify Nate the Hate making this up. Is that he's gonna try and say that Nintendo is like releasing fake leaks to expose like completely reliable leakers like Nate the Hate. Unfucking believable.
Was Nate the Hate's rumors, and all of them, some of them, part of a recent attempt by Nintendo that I've talked about, where they are attempting to do a canary trap. I don't believe his sources are wrapped up in any of this, but again, I don't know. I don't know Nate the Hate personally. I don't know his sources.
Wait. So he has absolute trust in like Nate the Hate's sources, even though he doesn't know Hate. He doesn't know the sources. He doesn't know like anything. Like, he's just gonna blindly believe him for like, I don't know, vibes, I guess. Like, what is he talking about?
Friend, I guess a colleague is okay because he's a fellow content creator, but man, I don't have
Hey man, I'm a fellow content creator, and I have heard people say that you have openly disrespected me on stream. I haven't seen it. I haven't looked it up. I don't care. But it's like, bro, don't come at me with like my fellow content creator crap. Like, what are you talking about?
So we have to go off of what's available out there, including some recent words from Nate the Hate, because obviously he is the leading person at the moment for an Ocarina of Time remake rumor this year. In fact, saying so much that it's actually going to be coming out later this year. So if Star Fox isn't true, then how can Ocarina of Time be true?
Okay, he's gonna come up with a code.
We're not gonna rehash all the things that we've talked about in the past from Aonuma, and yes, there was some Nash Weedle stuff in there who we don't really cover anymore. But I just wanted to throw out there that yes, we do have some evidence this game exists, but in terms of talking about it being like existing and coming out this year,
Nate the Hate is not evidence. Like, what's he talking about? Yes, my evidence is that Nate the Hate says so, and he's like, what evidence? What is he talking about? What are you talking about?
Here, that's on Nate the Hate. So we do need to go over some of the Star Fox stuff because obviously it wasn't revealed in April. And then we got to go over some of the new things that could impact other games potentially being made for Zelda's 40th anniversary, or if not for that, at least down the line. There's definitely something in the works coming for the Legend of Zelda franchise. That being said, folks, I'll remind you, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch shoe. You can enter through the link in the pinned comment or the description. And let's dive in first.
Is it? I don't know if I should talk about this because I don't know the details of. Yeah. Let's not do it. I don't know.
So I get into some of Nate the Hate's comments on social media pretty much since we obviously know Star Fox was not revealed. So we have this post by Hugo Gaming where he talks about, how is this fake or the plans change? Come down here says, let's frame.
Yeah, the plans change.
So he's not.
Plans change. A cope straight up from like the Emily Rogers days. That's like legit how she tried to defend one of her leaks being wrong. I don't remember which one it was.
Not really happy with this person putting up this image here, which does go over things that Nate the Hate has been wrong about over the last 5 years. But some of this stuff were predictions and not things he said were really going to happen. So that's what the.
Yeah, this is live. Is there something wrong with it?
But some of this stuff were predictions.
Yeah, this is a live video. Yeah.
Nate, it's not being called out for things he's wrong about. It's having things that he never said he knew, just things that he thought would happen, being presented as if he said it would happen. I get it. That can be a little frustrating. This guy says here, oh, it's a prediction now. And again, Nate the Hate was not saying that Star Fox was a prediction. That was literally not the point. But anyways, doesn't matter. Going on. Prediction now. Where's Planet Robobot? Let's not double down. Says I'm talking about the image you quoted.
Planet Robot. Yeah, the idea that like Planet Robobot would come out before Triple Deluxe is just like that's just laughably stupid. Like I don't understand like why he ever thought that was like a good thing to tell people. Like again, we're kind of seeing like the whole reliable leaker thing just kind of fall apart because people have been like paying attention to him now and have been actually like noticing things like this and like noticing how ridiculous it is. Like it's just it's embarrassing. It's that ridiculous. So yeah, is it safe to say that like Nintendo Prime is the biggest Nate the Hate cocksucker we've seen so far? Because like I haven't really seen a lot of people going to bat for him like after the Star Fox thing. Like plenty of people were doing it beforehand, but like Nintendo Prime is the only person I think who's trying to like go to bat for him at this stage where like he's very observably wrong and people are calling him out for being wrong and he's still like trying to like damage control.
These were presented as predictions and speculations and hopes. Roy, you're apologizing for taking nonsense or talking nonsense you can't prove. For what? Money or attention? What point did you try to make in that gibberish? So where's the Star Fox reveal for April? And again, Nate the Hate quotes himself. As said several days ago, I do not doubt the game's existence. Several outlets and people have spoken on the game beyond me as well. Timing for reveal was off.
Yeah, they were reporting on what you said. Why are a lot of people speculating a new Star Fox game is in development? Like, could it be because Star Fox was in the Super Mario Galaxy movie? It's like, what's he talking about? Like, other people have talked about this too. Yeah, because Star Fox is hot right now. Like, gee, I wonder why that is.
The mark and wrong. And that's a miss by me. So he's literally saying he was wrong, doesn't answer my question. The timing and the information was wrong. It's a miss on my part. That means nothing. Information from who? The Flash. I don't know what he was hoping for. It's not like Nate the Hate's going to tell him his source, but let's keep going. We're going to be tying this all together in a nice little bow in a moment. What are you seeking? Jesus to descend from the heavens to say, thou shalt get the game reveal on. Let me ask you something because you're crashing out hard right now, which I think is hilarious.
Crashing out hard for sure. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, talk about a crash out. Unbelievable. What a loser. Like, I gotta get going. I want to go out and do work on the book a little bit. Yeah, we went for an hour. I think an hour a day for the podcast is fine. I think going forward, I'll probably try and do it around like, I don't know, like early in the morning. We're gonna have to like set a time. I think this is kind of late to be doing a podcast. Like I want to do a morning show, and then once I start getting the audience, we'll start like growing from there. We'll see how things develop going forward. But yeah, this is going to be I think a focus for us going forward. Going more into like podcast territory rather than like gameplay streams. Yeah, the view count seems great. People are invested. Yeah, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like stay tuned for future installments as this story develops. Be sure to check out my website, buy my books. Please, please, please be on the lookout for the eventual announcement of The Cattle Have Fangs. I do think it is going to be available for purchase in the next 2 months, or pre-order in the next 2 months, I should say. So yeah, the announcement will be coming soon. And that's an actual lock. So yes, please stay tuned for that, and I will see you all next